What do you remember about December 23rd, 1972?
If you're talking about the Immaculate Reception.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, and what I remember of the Immaculate Reception, I remember nothing.
Give me the ball to Franco through the middle, 11 to 15 to 10 to 5. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. They open it up down the middle.
The 6'2", 230-pound Hall of Fame back was a versatile big yardage runner and a key component in the powerful Pittsburgh offensive machine that mowed down and maligned would-be defenders at will.
My interactions in my time with Franco would be exactly what you say, Bob. He would want this to be smiles and celebration and embracing the city, embracing that play, that team. And so I hope, as hard as it's going to be for people to be there and to mourn the loss of a legend, I hope people can smile and remember not just that play, but the man that Franco was, the player he was for the other years and the other great plays that he made for the Steelers, the Super Bowls, and all that. I think that's what we should and how we should remember Franco.
Pitch the ball to Franco, and he's running wide right, and he goes in for a Pittsburgh touchdown. As Franco Harris has another Super Bowl touchdown.
Last chance for the Steelers. Bradshaw trying to get away. And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it. And he's over. What? Franco Harris.
Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome to a very emotional episode and weird episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast. I am Jeff. That's Jarryd. Reason why I say it's also weird, it's Friday. When did we ever go on Fridays? Well, the issue was, I'll explain to you. So I do a job, and usually I'm completely done. I do a flower delivery. And for those that, don't know, and if you don't know, you apparently live under a rock, it's absolutely madness over here in Northeast Ohio. Someone doesn't understand that. Jarryd, Florida, congratulations to you and all your success. But, yeah, it's currently like minus 32 wind chill right now. So we had to, and tomorrow's going to be even worse. So we had to do a bunch of stuff, and I didn't get done till about 8 o'clock last night. And so we decided to postpone the show till today. And I think in a way also it's kind of cool that we did that on a particular note. Obviously, it's an emotional episode, especially for older fans. Now, for me and Jarryd, for obviously talking about the passing of the great Franco Harris. Franco, from what me and Jarryd, we never got to watch him play in person, obviously. But there were a lot of older Steeler fans who did. And those fans got very lucky because they got to watch someone who was an all-time great at running back. They got to watch the dominance of the 70s and the 4 Super Bowls that they acquired, and being one of the most dominant teams in NFL history around that time. Obviously, in that tribute video that we did, obviously, of course, today is the actual 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. Now, for those who are on Twitter and are a part of Steeler Twitter, the Steelers' actual Twitter account did something very cool today. They actually were live tweeting as if the game was going on right now. I know, Jarryd, you obviously knew about that. Did you actually kind of pay attention and see that stuff, or?
I saw a little bit here and there, but I was still doing my last bit of shopping, as I say. But I was keeping up with it, though.
Congratulations, you're actually able to get out of your house.
I'm sorry that I don't live in Ohio. It's only 50 degrees down here.
Oh my God! How will you ever? Oh my God! Oh my God! 50 degrees! Oh, I'm absolutely praying for you. You guys are so cold. Oh my God! Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program. Well, yeah, continue.
But it was something nice. I never thought I would see something like this. But it's very, a good tribute to the Immaculate Reception 50 years,
Yeah, it was cool because the way that they were, like I said, they were tweeting during as if the game was going on. Now, it would have been even better if they were doing this and the game was being shown on the NFL Network. That is something that I felt would have been amazing to have happen, was have that game being shown on the NFL Network, start at the exact time that the original game in 1972 started, and live tweet it from there. I felt like that would have been so much better, only for the fact that we actually got to visualize everything live, and also for I guess again, us younger fans or fans that we didn't get to watch that game because we weren't alive. It would have been a real time for us to really take in and understand just how important that game was just for the Steelers franchise itself. I mean, when you go back to that, the Steelers had only been in the playoffs one time since 1933, and that was against the Eagles, and they didn't score a touchdown. It was 21-0. So in the history, before 1972, the Steelers had yet to score a postseason touchdown until the Immaculate Reception. I think that's another key element to this whole thing and what makes that play so special. It was the first play, or the first touchdown, postseason touchdown in franchise history. It was also, obviously, Franco Harris's rookie year. It it really helped elevate to 4 Super Bowls and becoming basically from a laughing stock to now being one of the most stable, to one of the winningest franchises in NFL history. And I think that's what really makes that play special. But it wasn't just about that play. Forget about the player. Let's talk about the person, Franco Harris. All throughout the week, I was listening to Pittsburgh radio. And I got a text, so I don't know how you found out. I found out, so it was at 7 in the morning, which for me is very early. And also because I had to get up in an hour. I had a friend, shout out to Hunter, he actually FaceTimed me at 7 in the morning. And I'm thinking, I saw him calling me, I'm like, okay, because he knows to not call me unless something very, very, very important happened. Or there's an emergency of some sort. And I see it's 7 o'clock, and I roll over, and I get a FaceTime from him. I'm like, what the hell does he want? And he goes, I'm assuming you haven't saw, or you didn't see it yet. And I'm like, no, I was asleep. He goes, Franco had passed. And I'm like, what? Because the timing of this whole thing was so bizarre. I mean, he was a couple days away from being the 3rd player in NFL history, or the 3rd player in Steelers history, to have his number officially retired 50 years after the Immaculate Reception. And whatever. But that's what sucks about it. But the Franco Harris as a person, when you listen to the Pittsburgh radio and hear all these calls and you hear all his former teammates and just hear everyone talking about how amazing Franco Harris was as a person, he never cared. He made sure that you knew that he cared, that your time was valuable with him, that he cared about what you had to say. He wanted to make those times special for that individual. He was such a kind person. I never got to actually meet him, but the closest that I got to do was back in 2017 when the Steelers had back when it was Heinz Field, obviously. They did their first ever fan fest, and he was there, and I got to be close to him. And I didn't get a chance to be in line because they shut down the line to meet him and actually take a picture. But, I got a picture, close of him. And just to see the interaction that he was having with everyone was just so amazing. It was, shall I say, immaculate. And he was just such a great person. And the world lost a great human being. Sports fans lost a great player. He meant so much for the city of Pittsburgh. He was the sports ambassador for the city of Pittsburgh. And this was a huge loss for the city.
Very huge loss. I woke up, it was like 10 o'clock when I woke up that morning, and I opened up Twitter. First thing I opened up, that's the first thing I saw. I didn't see anything else. No one told me. I was shocked. And then I talked to my dad. My dad loved Franco Harris back in the day. He was shocked. Can't believe the timing. It was just a couple days away to be retired. He said it was one of his. He was growing up, seeing that place. That's how I'll always remember that play.
Mm-hmm.
Change, and that's how he loved the Steelers. It made me a Steelers fan.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who became Steeler fans because of Franco Harris. When you go back in that time, in that era, people, how in baseball they're showing a lot of the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs. That's how it was with the Steelers in the 70s. A lot of people got to see them play. They were the team that was nationally broadcasted all the time. And what does that do? You see those teams a lot. You tend to become a fan of them. You see them a lot, you become a fan of them. That's why Steeler Nation has become what it's become. That's why there's so many Steeler fans across the country. So many. We'll talk about it for a brief minute, talk about the game on Sunday. Another example of Steeler fans taking over a visitor stadium. It's something that we're just used to seeing. And it goes back to those days where everyone got to see the Steelers play. They were the nationally broadcasted team. Everyone becomes a fan of them, of course, of their dominance. And then there's just the overall stability that you've had for the last 50 years plus. 50 years, yeah. So that's where, it's kind of like I'm losing words to and I wasn't even a person that got to see him play during his time. But when you realize again just the person that he was and just what he meant to the city of Pittsburgh. When we went to the Patriots game earlier this year, and obviously Jarryd was there, we were all there. When we left the game, because I went to the players' lot and watched them, the players come out or whatever, just wanted to get close to them as close as we could. As I was on my way to, this is where I have to apologize to Jarryd. Supposed to go meet up with him somewhere, and then other things happened. I'll explain those off air. I was on my way to try to meet up with Jarryd. And I stop and I see the Immaculate Reception statue area. And I had to make sure to get that in because that was such a cool thing. And obviously you'll see all the people. I know, Jarryd, you're one of them. You're one of the millions of people who have to go to the Pittsburgh airport. And you get the pass the Immaculate, you get to pass the Franco Harris statue. There's a lot of people that we've known who's posted pictures of them next to that or pose, trying to do the pose. Mm-hmm. It's an important thing. I mean, for God's sakes, when in 2019, when the NFL became the NFL 100, it was voted the best play in NFL history?
Mm-hmm.
That's how important that was. I mean, that play was absolutely insane. And speaking of Hunter, he says R.I.P. Franco GOAT. Speaking of Hunter, for example, because his father grew up, he was a huge Steeler fan. And Hunter, I think what you said, Franco Harris was his favorite player. And he was everyone's favorite player. A lot of people. He was one of the greats. I could only imagine those that actually got to watch him. I mean, I know earlier this year we had to deal with another tragic death of Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
It was different for us with Dwayne Haskins, especially with Hunter and myself, because we were also Ohio State fans. But even for you, who's a Steeler fan, we got to actually watch him play. We actually got to see him play in person or play, watch him on television and play live. We actually got to do that. So that death hurt us a little bit, hit us different. The same way that this is hitting older Steeler fans who got to watch Franco. And Franco be that, the person that they admired and their favorite player or their childhood idol. That's what he was to so many fans back in the day. And Hunter says, Franco is my dad's favorite player ever. Had to tell him the news the other day, and he shed a tear. It hit him hard. And I bet. I mean, for God's sakes, I was with Hunter and his dad last week when I went over there and we watched the Browns-Ravens game with them. And we talked about Franco for a minute. So yeah, it was such an emotional day. And obviously the Steelers doing what they did on Twitter, it was just it's a real cool thing that they did. The Raiders, which they were a class act for, paying their respects and, tributing to Franco as well. Obviously, they were on the opposite side of that Immaculate Reception. But, what they did, you have President Biden, President Obama, everyone talking about Franco Harris. It shows how important he was to the sports world and to just humanity itself.
Very important.
Who's cutting onions over here? Oh my God. You know what? I want to get emotional, but I want to get emotional in a different way. Let's get happy. I understand the game happened on Sunday. It's currently Friday, but the hell with it. I still want to talk about this damn game from Sunday here short for a minute. Overall, what were your initial thoughts on the game Sunday?
It's a win. I thought of it like an average game as I expected it to be honest with you. Ran the ball really well, surprisingly.
Yeah, they ran the ball very, very effectively. In fact, here, let me see if I can pull it up here on my laptop. Or if not, I'll have to pull it up on my phone. But no, here's something that I want to talk about too with the Steelers. That was very nice to see. Back-to-back drives to start the game off with touchdowns. You start off with a 12-play drive and an 11-play drive, which included 5 third-down conversions. I have to give a huge shout-out. It's easy for us to rip players to shreds. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like if you're going to do that, you also need to give players their flowers when they deserve it. And we have to do that for Mitch Trubisky and Deontay Johnson. Now, Deontay Johnson had the boneheaded, thing, but that's nowhere near as boneheaded as Marcus Allen. And Marcus Allen, don't think that we forgot. We're on your ass here soon. Don't worry, we're on your ass. But I can at least justify Deontay Johnson's. I could justify that. It's the heat of the moment. He's had a rough year. He's having a great game. He's emotional. I could get it. That's the competitor in him. I see it. I understand that. He had himself a hell of a game. Mitch Trubisky had himself a great game.
Game manager. Let
me see. And I think that's something that, and it was weird. This is something that I don't like that Steeler fans like to do. And sports fans like to do it. You and me know people personally that do this, and it kind of pisses me off.
Oh, boy.
When people use a bunch of weird stuff to try to fit their quote-unquote narrative or agenda. Obviously, we have Steeler fans who, their agenda is to, say that Mitch Trubisky, is a good quarterback and he got the raw end of things or whatever. Or the opposite side of he's trash. There's the Kenny Pickett agenda. We all have them. And Hunter, I see you. Please win tomorrow. I was gonna say, are you talking about? Don't you guys need the Steelers to win tomorrow? If I'm not mistaken.
They definitely do.
Okay. But I mean, what Mitch Trubisky did, 17 of 22, 179 yards. He averaged 8.1 yards per reception, or average yards an attempt. That's his best. He only got sacked one time. He had a very good completion percentage. The run game went well. You ran for 156 yards as a team. Deontay Johnson, close to 100. I mean, George Pickens, he only had 2 receptions. One of them was on the big bomb, where obviously Mitch Trubisky put that right on the money. I mean, what do you want? I mean, this was such a great game. I mean, here's the part that I feel like is not getting talked about enough. 12 of 16 on third down. 12 of 16 on third down.
It's huge.
75% on third down. When do you see that in the NFL anymore? That is incredible. Hunter says, never trust someone that says Mitch Trubisky is a good QB. He's not awful, but he's not good. He's average.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing wrong with that, but obviously, there are some. I mean, Hunter, from Cleveland about number 6 and how people felt about 6. So, I mean, it happens everywhere when it comes to agendas and sports and all that, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, again, you held the Panthers to just over 200 total yards of offense. They only ran 43 total plays. 21 total yards, or 21 yards on the ground for the Panthers. After getting annihilated on the ground last week against the Ravens. As Hunter says, Baker Bros unite. Please kill me now. Yep. But
I just don't understand sometimes. We ran the ball a lot this game. But the last week, I don't think we ran the ball that much. The week before.
Here, let's see here.
I just don't understand sometimes. I get it was a better defense. I get that, but
they ran the ball 45 total times this game on Sunday. And then last Saturday, or what was it?
Last Sunday.
Last Sunday, they ran the ball, 20 times.
That's inexcusable. It should be at least 25, the minimum.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, that's
part of play calling. As you look back this year, you could tell there's so many winnable games we could have had this year. A lot of winnable games we had. It could have been a different story.
You know what game really pisses me off?
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
You know exactly where I'm going. Jets. How the absolute hell do you let Zach Wilson, who has gotten benched twice this year, not once, twice. How do you let him beat you? For God's sakes, he caught a touchdown pass and then grittied in your end zone. That game pisses me off. The Patriots game pisses me off. It pisses me off even more because we were there. I mean, let's just, you know what, here. I need to do this for my own sanity. And Hunter, I see your comment. I'll get to that here in a second, but I need to do this. We're playing the old schedule game here again.
Oh,
okay.
God.
First off, the Bengals. Let's be honest. You got absolutely historic performance out of your defense. And if the long snapper for the Bengals wasn't hurt and they had a backup long snapper, you probably lose that game. Okay. Patriots game. You only put up 14 on the board. I mean, again, we were there in person. Third game against the Browns, week 3. We understand. I did a live reaction stream for that game. I mean, okay, they just beat you down. They beat you down. They ran the ball. That's what they do. Again, the Jets game pisses you off. The Bills game. Okay, it's the Bills. I mean, for God's sakes, I'd hope you could score more than 3 points. But they're the Bills. Then you somehow magically
That was Kenny's first game, so.
Yeah, his first start. Then you somehow magically beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. You're thinking, with
the backup squad.
You said what?
With the backup squad.
Yeah,
practice squad.
With a backup secondary. They had Drew Hannes playing secondary.
Shout out to Drew Hannes.
Shout out to Drew. And then on top of that, then you have the Dolphins game. That's another game that pisses you off.
I was there.
Yeah, so there's a game that should piss you off even more. Then you have the Eagles. I mean, right now, they're the best team in football. Arguably the best team in football. Then you have the Saints. Okay, we actually beat a team. Holy crap. What? Winning? Winning? Then you have the Bengals game where it was 37-30, but obviously it was worse than that. Score doesn't justify. Then you have the Colts, where you barely beat the Colts, but hey, gotta win. Squeaked out a win against the Falcons. Hey, you're on a win streak. Holy crap. Here we go. Then you have the Ravens. You let Tyler Huntley and Anthony Brown beat you. The Jets game and that Ravens game pissed me off the most. Those two games piss me off beyond belief.
We would be 8-8 if with those 2 wins.
So wait, we are
actually no 8-6. Sorry,
I was gonna say we would be 8-6, and then we would be 1 win away from talking about another winning season for Mike Tomlin. All right, real quick, I want to get. So Hunter says we have Browns fans after 3 weeks of Deshaun Watson, 2-1 by the way, saying we paid $230 million for that, and saying that Baker would be better. It's infuriating. Browns Twitter gives me a headache. Trust me, I understand. It's weird. A good amount of Browns fans actually follow me on Twitter, which is, okay. Okay. But, so I do see some of what Hunter says. And B, I get it because Steeler Twitter is some of the most infuriating things on earth.
Yeah. And for his case, for the Browns, it's only they only play 3 games. Tomorrow will be his 4th game starting back in how many years? Was it 2-3 years he hasn't played?
And by the way, here real quick, actually, I just had a thought. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just had a thought. What Hunter just said here is exactly going back to the agenda thing. There were some people who had the agenda off the jump that they did not want Deshaun Watson. They did not like Deshaun Watson. Whether they said he was overrated, whether it was obviously the allegations of what he was alleged of doing. So those people that Hunter's referring to, a lot of it probably has to do with the agenda thing.
Oh, for sure.
Either that or they don't truly understand football. That could also be it as well. Let's be honest. There are some Browns fans who are complete idiots. They're complete dumbasses.
Every fan base, but...
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Steelers fans, I see some Steelers fans, and I'm like, huh? Poor K? Huh? What?
Yeah, I'm not going to drop any diss things. Seeing some draft things of who they want to draft in the first round is some names I don't want to hear.
Oh, good Lord. Listen. Listen.
I'm just going to say this. We're not going receiver round one. I'm telling you that right now.
Listen, I could get messy. And I'm not talking the soccer player, but we could get messy if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that. We'll spare you guys this time. It's the holiday season.
Oh, for sure.
But, yeah, going back to this game, there's one thing that I really enjoyed. And I think it was obviously the 21 play drive. 21 play drive. 91 yards. It took up 11 minutes and 43 seconds. You know what I started getting deja vu from again? I forget what game it was, whether it was the regular season game or the playoff game. But do you remember back in 2008 against the Chargers? Both games were both snowy. Both games were cold. But there was one drive in, I think, the third quarter where the Chargers ran one play in the whole entire third quarter.
I think that was the playoff game.
I think it was. That's what this drive gave me deja vu of.
That was the playoff game.
I mean, you had 5 third down completions or third down conversions there. I mean, you had Mitch to DJ for 7. Then Najee runs for 2. Then you get Mitch Trubisky to DJ for for 12 on third down and 10. They actually ran a successful jet sweep with Steven Sims on that drive. And then they just kept on going and just getting more chunk plays. 7, 9 yards per play. And then you cap it off with a touchdown. I was sitting in this exact spot, turned around. I had my TV on, and I'm thinking, what did I just watch? But here's something that pisses me off. I heard something today or earlier this week on Pittsburgh radio from a host. And he said something that made me want to pull my hair out. He said that he doesn't like when this whole sustaining drives thing because it shows we don't have big play potential. Like, here's my thing. I don't give a damn whether we get a touchdown in 2 plays or 22 plays. If we're scoring, controlling the clock, controlling the time of possession, I don't give a damn. Now, if you're having these 16, 17 play drives, but they're only ending in field goals,
that's a question.
I could understand that. But if you're going to have sustained drives and score touchdowns, then why do you care? Not everyone has to be the Buffalo Bills. Not everyone has to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Not everyone has to be those teams. You would like to be, of course. But if you are able to sustain drives and continue drives and to get 12 of 16 on third down.
You kept Sam Darnold off the field almost the whole third quarter.
You had the ball for 36 minutes. They only had the ball for 24 minutes? We ran like 20 more plays than them. That was a complaint that I had last year, where it seemed like we were losing the time of possession every single week. It was, and that's what when we have games like this, I will take it all day long. Now, did Mitch play an absolutely phenomenal game? No, but he played a good enough game for us.
Yeah.
And we did what we had to do. We got it. We got a victory against a team that we probably should have beat, and we did.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, is a W.
Now to Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen. I know you're not watching this. You better not be watching this. But if for some odd reason you are watching this right now, your ass should have been cut. Boom, like that. That was some of the most boneheaded, dumbest thing I have seen in a long time in sports. And I am forced to have to watch the Cleveland Browns every week. Here. That was one of the dumbest things I have ever seen. Why in the hell are you going to another team's huddle? Who are you to begin with? Who in the hell are you to begin with? Yes, I get you're what? The best special teamer on the team? Doesn't look like I give a flying damn. That was some of the dumbest shit I have ever seen. And your ass should be lucky, because if you were playing for Bill Belichick, your ass would have been goodbye, gone, right then and there. And this was something that I saw this week about Mike Tomlin. And part of me actually had to agree. Let me go. There was a tweet that I quote tweeted earlier this week, and I'm very surprised that I didn't get ridiculed like absolute hell. Let me go and refine this. This was from, yet again, another Steelers host earlier this week. Okay, here. Let's continue on. Okay, so Colin Dunlap goes, I absolutely hate to be this guy, but because I normally hate this guy. But here it goes. A player from the Patriots would never do what Marcus Allen did. Know why? Question mark. They know Belichick would immediately cut them. The problem is players here have no such fear of Mike Tomlin. And obviously a lot of people completely gave him shit for it. But I have to agree with it. I have to. I mean, I don't know where you stand on it. I don't think we haven't talked about that yet. I don't know. Do you agree with Dunlap and myself, or are you on the opposite side?
I get what you're saying. I'm just on the fence about it. Mike Tomlin is a people's players coach, as anything. But
okay, let me ask this then: where has that quote unquote people's coach gotten us over the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's great.
And I'm not going to be the person to say we need to fire him and let him go. No, I'm not going to do that.
No.
But you do have to question some things when it comes to Mike Tomlin. You do have to.
Yeah, I definitely do. They definitely, after this season, they got to tighten that leash or let, a little bit, It's like, hey, Mike, you got to do something. You have Kenny Pickett for 4 years. You got to, by year 3, you would hopefully get in the, somewhat deep in the playoffs. Has to be improvement.
And here was another thing that did kind of piss me off, though, from Monday. Was Pittsburgh radio on Monday, when the Steelers win, you should be happy. You should talk about the win first, and then whatever happens after. Unless it's like an example, like the Steelers-Bengals game in 2017, the Ryan Shazier game, when Ryan Shazier got hurt, when Vontaze Burfict got laid out, got carted off, when Antonio Brown took another crazy hit on a touchdown, and the headline became, was talking about just how insanely brutal that game was. I could understand talking about that after a Steelers win. But god damn, they were so negative. They were so negative after a Steelers win. In fact, I think I made a tweet about it. Because I'm listening to it. I was at work, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, are you serious, bro? Oh, here we go. I said, I don't know about y'all, but rather than talk about rather than talking about the positive from the win yesterday, like Mitch playing well or DJ having his best game of the year or the run defense playing absolutely phenomenal, they only just talk about the negatives. Talk about positivity, please. My God. I understand that negativity sells. I understand that negativity is so easy to spew. But God damn, can we please try to be positive during, it's a rough season. When we have some positivity to talk about, I would think that we would want to emphasize that. But I guess not.
Not everybody. Not everybody. They want us to be, angry, mad. Why do we win?
That was another thing, too, that kind of pissed me off. And, obviously, we talked about this earlier in the year. I think it was maybe after the Saints game or something. And I did make a point where it's okay, Monday through Saturday, or for us in this case, Monday through Friday, we're okay, if we lose, we're justifying it because, the draft picks or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then game day hits. Normal fans are going to say, forget everything, I want to win. Because victory Mondays, or victory Sundays, or victory whatever, the day after a victory, just feels great, makes the whole week feel better. And at the end of the, I just want to, I do want to see the team win. And then you have people who's I was actively rooting against them. That's kind of weirdo material, if you ask me. I don't know.
Always root for your team to win.
It's kind of weirdo material to actively root for your team to lose. I don't know.
I'm not that fan. I'll tell you that.
I can't. Unless we're officially out of the playoffs, then maybe that's a different story.
No.
Now, if we go out this weekend and sadly lose, and then we're officially eliminated from the playoffs, okay, then, maybe that's a different story. Maybe.
They got to win this week.
But as of this moment, as of December 23rd, at 6:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, forget all that. I need the Steelers to win. Here we go.
For Franco.
Do it for Franco. Do it for 32.
Franco,
okay, I do. I hate that I'm being this person, but there's another thing that's pissed me off this week. And
oh boy.
And Steeler fans are another example of doing this, but this happens in all sports. It's happened in everywhere. I don't know why, but it kind of weirdens me when someone dies and then they immediately go buy their jersey then. That's their reason to go buy someone's jersey. I saw a lot of people, listen, when Kobe died, and then those jerseys sold in seconds, and then this is what really, really, really ticks me off beyond belief, is when those companies said, oh, he died, we know people are going to want him, oh, okay, we'll just raise the prices on him. That's kind of fucked up. Actually, that's not kind of fucked up. It's very fucked up to do.
It is.
I don't think that I don't think that's happened with Franco jerseys, but I don't know. I don't know if you agree with me or completely disagree. If you disagree with me, that's completely fine. But I don't know. I just have the weird icks about it. Right after he died, right after a player dies.
Yeah, the price goes up. It's not the right way to do it.
Now, I think the only thing that I can maybe justify,
if those funds go to something.
Well, that, or you could have it to where, you might have it to where, it just worked out to where you were going to buy it that day anyway, and then just magically he passes. I think that's a rarity, but it could be that kind of coincidence. Or, you were hoping that you might be able to order it and you wanted to try to get it before the game and you were going to the game, because regardless, whether he is alive or passed, you would want to wear that jersey because that game in reality is for that event. Because like they released the block jerseys, which first and foremost, thank you for bringing back the block jerseys for this game.
The end zones are painted too.
I'm bricked up.
When's the last time you see the end zones painted in our
Woo! It's been a while. But yeah, I don't know.
They should do that more often. I don't know why.
The only reason why they can't is because obviously they share it with the
that's true.
That's why you'll notice at the end of the year they'll actually write Steelers on the opposite side rather than have the lines, because the one end zone you can have Pittsburgh and it's going to be gold. It's just a matter of whether it's going to be black or blue.
They could change the guy. It's easy for them.
And then on the opposite side, they just do it whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the year, when the Panthers are done, then you can write Steelers. That's why.
That's right. I forgot the Panthers are still there.
Yeah.
I think they're getting their own stadium, aren't they?
Are they?
I heard something about it. Unless I'm hearing the things.
I was saying, unless you're getting a little Christmas tipsy or something.
It's possible, but listen, I just want the end zone to play it a whole season.
but yeah, this game this game tomorrow is gonna be it's gonna be an emotional one, obviously, on all sides. It's gonna be obviously fun to watch. At the end of the day, when the Steelers are technically still in the hunt. Now we have our playoff correspondent, our playoff Steelers scenario correspondent, Jarryd here. Would you like to happen to explain how the Steelers could make the playoffs with their 0.5%?
0.7 now.
0.7.
With the Jets loss yesterday,
we have grown. 0.7. So you're saying there's a chance?
With Miami, the Chargers have to lose out. That's one scenario, and then Chargers lose out. Patriots, Jets, Jags would have to. No, Patriots, Jets have to lose 2 of the 3. Jags would have to lose, I think, 1 of the 3, one of the next 2 games, and then for the Dolphins. Has to be 2 of 3 as well. But let's say that the Chargers win on Monday night, then I think we're still technically in until now we have to have the Dolphins lose every game. So the last spot would be up for grabs. It's a very slim chance. We have to win out. I'm going by week, but
at this point you got to go game by game.
Yeah, so game by game this week we are, as much as I hate to root for this team, we have to root for the Bengals this week.
Oh, my God. That's going to be painful.
Root for the Packers this week.
I can handle that.
Root for the Colts this week.
I can definitely handle that.
And there's one more team.
The Texans.
The Texans.
Might as well. I mean, who the hell are the Texans doing?
So,
why do we hate the Texans?
If all those teams win, we'll be up to a 4% chance.
Oh, we actually will have 4 full percentages. Oh my God, we're actually getting somewhere.
But you got to take care of our game first tomorrow. So
yeah, first and foremost, you don't lose that game.
Well, we'll find out actually Saturday night of what happened to all this.
Real quick, some free agency baseball news. Craig Kimbrell to the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's a good signing for him.
Yeah,
Philly's looking good.
1 year, $10 million.
That's cheap. That's nothing. That's pennies.
But
4%.
Yeah, that would be pennies to like what the Mets are doing. Oh my goodness.
I was so pissed when they signed Correa. Oh my God, I can't believe that actually happened.
Why? Because oh yeah, I forgot. Because there's a chance that the Mets might become the kings, the daddies of New York.
Nah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think so.
I would love to see the Mets win, just to see Yankee fans just crumble, just so we could say that the Mets have been to a World Series.
They have.
Sooner than the Yankees.
More recently, yes, they have. Oh, man.
And then, of course, who did you guys get? Carlos Rodon?
Yep.
I have a comment that I can make, but I shall not be making that at this time.
Shout out to Rodon.
Other than that, I mean, I know you want to get out of here. At some point, you got to go and watch the Magic, the Lonely Magic.
Magic won 7 out of 8. I know it's towards the end of the show, but that's pretty good. We're only 2 games out of the play-in, which is exciting for the Magic, so hopefully we keep winning.
So you said that you are, what, a couple games out of the play-in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a game out of the first seed.
What's
ironic is, so we just played Milwaukee, throttled them. We've already beaten Boston twice. So yeah.
Well, hey, you gotta think the Magic. They beat them twice. They have to get up there. The Magic. They beat the Celtics twice.
Well, Celtics are mid.
They were the number 1 seed. Or if they are still.
No, Boston is a half game.
Probably.
So yeah, Milwaukee's 22-9. Boston is 22-10. They're a half game behind them. And then the Cavs are 22-11. They're a full game behind the Bucks. And then so let's see. The Magic, you guys play the Spurs tonight.
Yes, we do. Wendell Carter's back, baby. Let's go. We're getting there. Everyone's getting healthy.
The Nets and the Bucks play tonight. That's going to be a very good game. And then obviously we play the Toronto Raptors.
And I'm actually have to root for you guys this game.
I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal for tonight. You root for the Cavs, I'll root for the Magic. Here we go.
Hey, here we go. Let's go.
Here we go.
For one night only. I will not
be trash talking the Magic in the group chat for tonight.
Oh man, they have to win tonight. It's the Spurs, man. They're not a good team.
They are not. 10-21.
I think we're 12-21.
Well, at least you have the audacity for your team to call someone else trash. The audacity.
It's rare. But anyways, Steelers should win this game. Kenny's back. They need to run the ball. A shout out to those fans that are going to be there in the cold.
Y'all some soldiers. Y'all some soldiers.
That is it's in the negatives wind chill wise. You are wild. I'll be watching from my nice house.
Hold on, time out. You're saying in my nice house like it isn't like 50 degrees there. I should be the one that's saying I'll be watching it from my house because we're actually where I'm at right now actually has a colder wind chill than in Pittsburgh. So if anyone here has the audacity, the unmitigated gall to actually make that kind of remark, it should be me.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with that, but you're not outside watching the whole game.
We could at least agree on that. Although I did have a friend who was trying to convince me to make the drive down there. I said, "Are you nuts?" Unless it's unless I get to teleport there.
You could barely see on the road. Why would you?
Right. I mean, for God's sakes, I was looking on my weather app, and I was looking at the visibility. Oh, now we're up to 1 mile. Before, we didn't even get a mile. We just got yards.
Well, Steelers should win this game. You know, it's going to be cold. Derek Carr is not good in the cold weather at all. But I'm not saying that. Just, he could change. But in the previous time he's been in the cold, he's been not good.
Yeah,
not good at all.
It's going to be... Also, I'm going to make one more remark before we get out of here. Steelers lose this game, we're shutting down. We need to shut down TJ Watt for the year.
Well, they should. Definitely should.
If they lose.
If they lose, yeah.
If they don't.
After this game is the Ravens, so this is a big week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. But,
So,
all right, I do think we need to get on out of here. So I do want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys did enjoy. And if you guys did, smash the like button, hit the red subscribe button, drop a comment. We are getting so close. We are at 596.
hey, 4 subs away. Let's go.
4. So the situation that Jarryd gave us earlier, where we would have a 4% chance, yeah, that's how many subscribers we're away from 600. 4. So please go and click the red subscribe button. And until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend. If you guys do celebrate, Merry Christmas to everyone. And obviously for those that are not in Florida, stay safe.
Happy Hanukkah to everybody as well.
Also, happy Hanukkah, happy, Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa. Yep.
Yeah. Whatever you celebrate, hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. And obviously go Steelers. And be sure to stay safe. Do what you got to do. Make sure to protect yourself. Don't be that fool. Don't be that fool to try to... Oh, yeah. One more thing before we get on out of here. Radio host was trying to pay someone to go shirtless to the game.
You're wild.
I'm just waiting for the Steelers players to go and they do their shirtless thing. Their shirtless warm-up.
We'll see Saturday night.
We'll see. Tomorrow
on
night.
NFL Network.
But till then, hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend. Stay safe. Have a great week. Hope to see you back on Thursday. And until then, peace out.